Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Here is a mixed parrot. Song of General Kim Il-sung. We now present a mail, chorus, Song of General Kim Jong-il. Respected Kim Jong-un, First Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, gave field guidance to the Chunji lubricant factory. He was accompanied by Hwang Byung-soo, Lee Jae-il, and Han Kwang-sun. Hearing an explanation about the history of the factory, respected Kim Jong-un warmly recalled the undying leadership exploits of the great Kim Jong-il. During the arduous march and forced march, when the whole country had to tighten the belt due to the vicious isolation and suffocation of the enemy and severe natural disasters, Kim Jong-il conceived the grand plan to develop the lubricating oil industry badly needed for the development of the national economy, chose the site for the factory, and wisely led the work to modernize the factory as a comprehensive lubricant producer step by step, while giving instructions on boosting the lubricating oil industry onto the cutting-edge level on tens of occasions till the last period of his life. Respected Kim Jong-un warmly said that visiting the factory, which was born thanks to the model patriotic exploits of the great Kim Jong-il, the factory handed down to posterity at the cost of his single-handed efforts, he feels bitter regret at the failure to show him even once such a modernized wonderful factory, and the Chunji lubricant factory is a posthumous factory. He noted that though the great Kim Jong-il could not visit the Chunji lubricant factory, the officials and employees should always live and travel with the pride of working at the factory built by him during the arduous march, and with a feeling of loyalty to make a report on production to him every day. Seeing the factory alone makes it possible to know well how many things the great Kim Jong-il had sown for the building of a prosperous nation. He earnestly told that we should not forget the devotion and efforts of Kim Jong-il for the country and people, century after century and generation after generation. Kim Jong-un made the rounds of different places of the factory, including the analysis room, general production control room, lubricating oil work team, grease work team, and injection molding work team, and learned in detail about the technical specifications of the production processes and the production of goods. He highly appreciated the Cheongji lubricant factory as a factory with automatic, informationalized, and unmanned production processes, and as a digitalized factory which has perfectly established an integrated production system by computer. He expressed delight over the fact that the factory is producing the goods which were imported in the past with strength and technology. And he pointed out that in the future, the factory should wage a vigorous struggle to produce a larger quantity of quality lubricating oil and grease necessary for various kinds of vehicles and send them to different sectors of the national economy. Seeing the quality of the goods produced at the factory is as good as the imports, he stressed the need to steadily improve the technical indices of the lubricating oil and grease to have an international competitive power. Kim Jong-un noted that the factory has established crunched ways in production and lies well in conformity with the demand of the Sungun era. He expressed great satisfaction, saying especially it is great that the green area for each employee surpasses the world standard by far, and the factory is literally a park. Seeing the Cheongji lubricant factory should make an active contribution to the building of a rich and powerful country, he gave important instructions on the business management, including the issue on increasing the proportion of localized raw materials and additives, the issue on formally building a science and technology dissemination center, and the issue on further improving the supply service for the employees. Kim Jong-un said it is a pride to have the modern world standard Cheongji lubricant factory, and reiterated that it is really regretful that I could not show the factory to the great Kim Jong-il. Noting that he is very pleased to look around the Cheongji lubricant factory where the party policy is correctly implemented in every corner, he said the factory, which enables people to have attachment to their things, should be widely introduced to the whole country so that all can follow it. Saying the key to success in all work depends entirely on the officials, he, in the name of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, gave thanks on the spot to manager Kim Sol-ryong and the officials of the factory who are making great efforts to implement the party policy, keeping each word and phrase of the policy deep in mind. Respected Kim Jong-un noted that the name of the Cheongji lubricant factory represents the minds of its workers to support the party with clear and pure conscience, like the water of Lake Chun of Mount Baekdu. He expressed the belief that the employees of the factory would implement the instructions of the great Kim Jong-il with increased production and have a picture taken with them. Respected Kim Jong-un sent a wreath to the bier of the late Choi Soon-hee, an anti-Japanese revolutionary fighter, on the 4th, expressing deep condolences over her death. The Tsarava Publishing House of Bulgaria brought out in booklet, respected Kim Jong-un's famous work, "The Great Kim Il-sung is the eternal leader of our party and our people." The publishing ceremony took place at the publishing house on July the 29th. Foreign newspapers featured the 61st anniversary of the Korean people's victory in the Great Fatherland Liberation War between July the 26th and the 28th, illustrated with photographs showing the exploits performed by the great leader Kim Il-sung in leading the war to victory. The Iranian newspaper Iran News, the Egyptian newspaper Al-Masiriyah, and the Nepalese newspaper Gorkha Express carried articles praising the immortal exploits performed by President Kim Il-sung for war victory, saying that the world's would-be strongest United States knelt down before the Korean people 61 years ago on July the 27th, 1953. Meanwhile, the Myanmar newspaper The New Age dedicated the whole page to photos featuring the merits of heroic soldiers of the Korean People's Army during the Fatherland Liberation War and photos revealing the defeated U.S. imperialists. Lee May-wol, living in Hams County Township, South Hamgyong Province, the DPRK, greeted her centenary birthday. She received the kind birthday festival sent by respected Marshal Kim Jong-un and was greatly excited with her boundless thanks for him. Leading party officials from across the country held a meeting at the Education Yard before the bronze statue of the great Generalissimo Kim Il-sung at the Samjian Grand Monument on the 4th during their study tour of the revolutionary battle sites in the area of Mount Baekdo. They first laid a floral basket and bouquets before the bronze statue and paid respects to Kim Il-sung. The reporter and speakers at the meeting stressed that the leading party officials, the study tour organized by respected Marshal Kim Jong-un was an important opportunity for revolutionary education and training to acquire more deeply the peerless greatness of Generalismos Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il and the brilliant revolutionary traditions of our parties, and to prepare themselves as those strong in idea and faith for infinitely loyal to the monolithic leadership of the party. They also called upon all to remain faithful to the pledge they made on Mount Baekdo and vigorously fight for the final victory of the revolutionary cause in the revolutionary spirit of the Baekdo, and loyal support of the behest of the great Generalismos and the leadership of respected Kim Jong-un. The meeting adopted a resolution. After the meeting, the participants looked around the Samjian Grand Monument. Molybdenum factory has been built and commissioned at the March 5th U.S. mine. The commissioning ceremony took place on the 4th. Present there were officials concerned, teachers and researchers of Kimse University of Technology, and officials and employees of the mine. A message of thanks of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea was conveyed to the workers, technicians, and officials of the March 5th U.S. mine, and the teachers and researchers of the Metal Engineering Faculty of Kimse University of Technology who performed brilliant labor feats in the building of the molybdenum factory. A commissioning address and speeches were made, and the resolution adopted at the ceremony. The Moose Water Park, built on the bank of the picturesque river Badong in Pyongyang, draws more than 10,000 working people of different tribes and school youth and children on a daily average. In August too, many people, men and women, and young and old, visit the vast comprehensive park with a total floor space of 109,000 square meters for physical training and summering, and spend a pleasant time. People enjoy themselves at different kinds of water slides, such as wavy slides, loose guided slides, and stick crossing slides. And children are greatly excited, exposing themselves to the sprays from the masses of different animal sculptures, swinging and shooting water guns, filling the park with happy laughter. According to the South Korean weekly Media Today, on August 1st, it was disclosed that the South Korean Puppet Navy has kept from opening to the public the data helpful to clarifying the cause of the Chonan warship sinking. The South Korean Kyonghang Daily News carried an article on July 31st disclosing murderous acts committed in the South Korean Puppet Army. The article said it was recently disclosed that the private soldier died in the 28th Division some months ago by group violence of the seniors. The Czech newspaper Halo Noviny on August 1st carried an article titled DPRK exercises the right to self-defense. The article said the UN Security Council, in its closed-door consultative meeting on July 17th, announced the short-range missile launch of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea as a sacred breach of resolution, and continued. Each country has the right to self-defense and the right to develop arms and equipment. The United States has launched many missiles in the military exercises against the DPRK and conducted practical exercises with the mobilization of nuclear equipment, but the United Nations has never questioned it. as the uninterrupted military exercises conducted by the United States in and around the Korean Peninsula have provocative character. It is quite just for the DPRK to strengthen its military force, the article stressed. And that's the end of the news read by Kim Hyun-oh. This is Voice of Korea. The Daily Minji Chosun of the DPRK carried a commentary on Tuesday under the title, U.S. Troops are Wild Beasts. The commentary said, some time ago, 2 GIs in Italy raped a pregnant Romanian woman, evoking bitter criticism worldwide. It clearly proves that they are wild beasts in human skin who cease to be human beings. The South Korean inhabitants are undergoing tremendous suffering due to the extra large crimes committed by GIs in South Korea. Uncountable are the GIs' crimes that surprise the world, including the painting of a woman in Dong De-sun, mother of Yoon Go-mi, and killing of Kim Mi-sun and Shin Hyo-sun. The problem is the fact that the extra-large human rights violations by the GIs are patronized and backed up by the U.S. military authorities. In South Korea, GI criminals are to be dealt with by the U.S. military authorities according to the status of forces agreement. People still remember the biggest tragedies of the 21st century that happened at the Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq and at the concentration camp of the U.S. naval base in Guantanamo. It is the culmination of shamelessness that the United States, which persisted in all sorts of crimes and manhunt throughout the world, loudly talks about the so-called peace and humanitarianism. As long as the U.S. troops, a group of worst criminals and wild beasts, remain in the world, the regional people cannot get rid of misfortunes and suffering, and the regional peace and security cannot be ensured. All the countries and nations must drive the murderous U.S. troops to their death, the commentary stressed. That was the commentary under the title, U.S. Troops are Wild Beasts, carried in the Daily Minji Chosun of the DPRK on Tuesday. This is Voice of Korea. When a prisoner made terrorists will defend General Kim Jong-un at the cost of our lives.
and orchestral music, let us support our Supreme Commander with arms. you will hear the song Whoever Taught Me, created in 1975 or 1986. Please listen to light music. 예쁘니.
Please appreciate for me, chorus, Song of Praise of God unit.
undisguised attempt for preemptive nuclear attack. Some time ago, the South Korean military gangsters revealed their attempt to stage the Uji Freedom Guardian joint military exercise with the United States as planned. Therefore, the situation of the Korean Peninsula is becoming so grave again that a nuclear war may break out at any moment. The exercise is said to be involving not only huge troops of the U.S. Imperialist Aggressive Forces and the South Korean Puppet Army and latest war equipment, but also South Korean government organs and hundreds of thousands of civilians. Uji Freedom Guardian is an exercise for aggressive war and a nuclear test war from A to Z to mount a sudden preemptive nuclear attack on the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. A clear proof of it is that the South Korean war hawks plan to apply the tailored deterrence strategy to the exercise for the first time in history. The tailored deterrence strategy is a very dangerous war scenario which divides the massive nuclear crisis into the stages of threat, imminent years, and years, and makes a preemptive attack on the DPRK with the mobilization of all military means, including nukes. The war hawks at home and abroad contained in the tailored deterrence strategy the provision that they can mount a preemptive attack in case they consider that the nuclear weapons are in the stage of imminent use, gaining a foothold to mount a preemptive nuclear attack on the North at any moment. During the two reserves and full Eagle joint military exercises staged from late February, the war hawks intended to apply tailored deterrence strategy and prove its efficiency, but ended with introduction of its conception. But the projected exercise will also examine the details of the strategy and apply it to a virtual war. In this respect, it is needless to say that the exercise will be staged according to the already mapped out scenario of preemptive nuclear attack, mainly aimed at mastering and completing the procedures of operations and actual ability of the U.S. Imperialist Aggressive Forces and the South Korean Puppet Army units to make a total attack on the DPRK. Uji Freedom Guardian is more dangerous as it will be staged when the inter-Korean relations are extremely deteriorated and the tension of the Korean Peninsula is more escalated than ever before. When the South Korean war hawks continue to talk about punishment concerning the DPRK's attempt to strengthen its self-defense with deterrent force, South Korean Minister of National Defense Han Min-go made intolerable violent confrontational outbursts that the North will have to be aware of the danger to the existence of its social system. Due to it, the inter-Korean relations are in fact in super tension that any trifling conflict or accident may develop into total war immediately. It is as clear as noonday that when the United States and the South Korean war hawks stage the provocative North-targeted war exercise just at such a time, the inter-Korean relations will be uncontrollable and everything come to an end. The DPRK has already declared firmly that all the strongholds of aggression and provocations, including the White House and the Department of Defense of the United States and the Blue House of South Korea, would be the targets of the powerful cutting-edge ultra-precision fire-striking means of the Korean People's Army. The United States and the South Korean puppets should not act rashly, remembering the ultimatum of the DPRK. You've been listening to an account under the title, Undisguised Attempt for Preemptive Nuclear Attack. This is Voice of Korea.
Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz and 14,650 kHz. For Middle East and Northern Africa between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz. and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kHz and 11,635 kHz. For Southern Africa, between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kHz and 11,910 kHz. And for Central and South Americas, between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz, 13,760 kHz, and 15,180 kHz. And between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,710 kHz and 15,180 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.